Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, everyone. My name is Keiara Gladney, and I am the host of Mask Off, a Charity Movement Podcast. It's Monday. It's 2026.
It's
Yes,
Monday.
we made it. I made it. Okay, all of us made it. There you go. So, if you have not done so already, thank you so much for stumbling upon the Charity Movement Podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. Before you continue to watch this video, I would love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you will find us on Spotify or wherever you view podcasts or listen to podcasts, subscribe. Click on your notification bell. Comment for something. Say, hey, Gab. Say, hey, Jen. Say, hey, Keiara. Say, hey, something. Okay? Because that helps me, which then helps you. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Okay. So this is the year of transition. We have been talking about transition since last year within the podcast. And so we've been very intentional. I've gotten so many testimonials already just about the consistency of the messages throughout the year, the past year, and how it's been proving to really sustainable results in their lives of leadership, of ministry, in their personal lives, in their family lives and relationships. And so this episode is really special because we're talking about a different type of relationship. Today is a special day, okay? I have got two of the most amazing people in my life, okay? My sister mom, my oldest sister, Jennifer, and my child, my long lost child. My niece, who is now a college freshman. Gabby, can you please welcome them to the Mask Off podcast today? Hi, guys.
Hi. So glad to be here today. Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you are both available to be a part of the podcast episode. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So, Gabby, I just said that you're a college freshman.
Yes.
Where do you attend?
I attend the illustrious Hampton University, 1868. Be on it.
And we're proud of it. We're proud of it.
Thank you.
So how has your first semester been? How has that experience been for you?
In all areas, personal, friendship-wise, family-wise, school-wise, I felt like it was all challenging because it's new. I left Texas and now I go to school in Virginia. So that was a huge jump from going from one area to another area, and not only going to another area, but doing school, and I'm at school all by myself. Like the closest family member, you have to cross a bridge and a highway, and it's like 30 minutes for me to get there and for them to be with me. And it's always like congested and packed. So it's not even 30 minutes. It gets like 2 hours for me to get to family. And then second off, everyone else is like far away, DC, Michigan, Texas. It's like a plane ride away. I can't just, call up someone and be like, hey, can you come pick me up? It's, hey, can you schedule me a flight? And it's like, it becomes very challenging, but I've learned how to overcome those obstacles by just prayer. All semester, just prayer and God has just been something that's been really big in order for me to get through this semester.
That's amazing. It's amazing to see. I love the fact that this episode has you sitting right by your mom, and your mom looks so proud. So cute. It's so cute. She's so proud. She's like, so, I love that you talked about how you have felt like different challenges, but you've also felt like you're kind of walking through this season. You have support, you have resources where you need them, but you're really going through this new season, learning who you are by yourself. Of course, you have God, but you're really learning a lot of tools by yourself. And the person right next to you kind of had that same experience because you went to college in the middle of nowhere. How was that transition for you?
It was strange at first, right? Because we came from a very sheltered life.
Yeah.
So to be like completely confined and wrapped in this swaddle blanket to being dropped off and left within 30 minutes of the drop off, and it's just like, there you go, figure it out. That was tough. I can um I understand her, what she says when she says her challenges. You really are um going to just have to depend on God and literally focus on your relationship with him so that you can kind of like navigate through the rough waters of adulthood, of being a young woman, of just like safety, just all of the things. So it was a challenge at first, but you thrive when you really dig your feet in and really focus on what God has planned for you. When you start walking in that instead of trying to stray away and do your own thing, it ends up being something that's very fruitful, and it helps you to be able to blossom.
Yeah.
And she did not mention that she made the dean's list her first semester. Such a humble queen, but
I can keep it humble.
Well, I think what my sign above my head, I always try to keep like super intentional stuff around me, but bloom where you're planted. Like,
Yep.
we don't know what season we're in and what type of transition we'll find ourselves in, but it's very important that wherever you find yourself, you learn what it needs, what that space needs for you to grow well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times growing well in different seasons of your life takes a period of unmasking where you really learn who you are, learn what you like, learn what you don't like. Because a lot of times, especially for us growing up sheltered, we didn't get the opportunity to really learn what we didn't like until we were actually like adults. So Jennifer, when you think about unmasking, what did that look like for you in your earlier adult years, especially as our oldest sibling?
I really, my whole point of being, I knew that being the eldest would have a huge responsibility. I knew that from being at home and our parents telling me about what that responsibility was for me, because I knew that I would set the tone for everybody, and I didn't want to be like the sister that you would say like, yeah, that's my sister, but I don't know. I wanted it to be one of those things where you guys could come to me for things and I would not share, unless you told me to share. But I also wanted to be able to like walk down a path where I could kind of show you that things were possible for your life. Like you didn't have to stay stuck in that same bubble that we grew up in, and that there was way more for us to experience in life. And that was challenging, right? Because if you come from a space where you are really very much sheltered and you're only in this small space, going out and trying to do things, sometimes you will um kind of prevent yourself from actually doing it because you're afraid that you're going to fail. But the whole point of living this life, and this is something that I learned by making mistakes, is to actually do the things, right? So that you can experience it and learn from those experiences, because that's the best teacher. And that's something that I try to, even now as a woman, married woman with children, it's all about experiencing things. That way I can kind of determine whether or not if that's something that I want to continue to do, or if I want to teach someone else about that thing.
I appreciate that. Okay. And so from unmasking, let's move to expectations. What type of expectations did you feel like were placed on you by family? It could be culture, it could be stuff that you placed on yourself that as you went through life and as you continue to go through life, you have to continue to release.
Um, Being human, right? Feeling like you have to always be perfect. Like you have to always have things planned out. Like these things, like your plan is something that you cannot like deter from. If so, I know that when I was growing up and before I left for school, mom didn't have the talks with me. dad had the talks with me. He had the real grown up adult talks, like things that about guys, things about just like sex. Like he had the conversations with me. Mom was like, "You talking about that? You shouldn't be doing that anyway." Da, 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 boop, boop, boop. But he was like, "I'm being realistic with you. You're leaving. These are the things that could potentially happen, and these are the things that you could potentially have yourself in, and I want you to know about it." And I think that when you have that was something that I appreciated. I just wish I would have had it earlier, right? Because in your mind, as a child, becoming a teenager, becoming a young woman, you're trying to like figure out the things that you're learning from your family, but looking at what your friends and stuff and what they're learning and what they're teaching you. And you have this idea of what things are supposed to be. So you're walking this path of just trying to be perfect when there is no perfect person, you know? So because there's no perfect person, it kind of puts a little stain on what you think your visioning, what your plan should be, but it helps to guide you in the way where if you do fall down, just because you fell down does not mean that you have to just stop where you are, right?
Yeah.
You fell down, but okay, I made a mistake. Accountability. We talk about this all the time, being accountable, even in the small things, right? Oh, I just this week, Gabby bought a pair of shoes that were too small, and she put these shoes on. I was like, these shoes are small. She was like, no, they're not small. I fit all my shoes like that. I was like, no, I don't want you to wear shoes like that. No, it's fine. It's like, no, let me get you some more shoes. And then when she got the shoes, what did you say?
Oh, they did better.
And I said, what?
That's what I told you.
Okay, right? Because you think that you know things, but you have to experience it. She bought the shoes. It was fine for her to buy the shoes, right? But she had to feel them shoes to see how hard it was to get your feet in those shoes. How your feet look like knuckles at the top of your shoes when they should not.
Oh.
How you're not gonna be how you're not gonna be able to wear those shoes for extended period of time. You need to size up on the shoes. It's all about experiencing that thing and not putting limitations on yourself and saying, you know what, every day is a new day by grace that God gives us. And every day is a new day by us to be able to make a mistake, but also hold yourself accountable because you don't want somebody else to do that for you. You want to hold yourself. It's very important to be self-aware. So the path that is set before you should not be something that you should take the things that your parents gave you and the foundation that you have, but also you should start thinking about, okay, this is the life that I'm living and I'm alone living this life. What are some of the things that I can take from this that my parents gave me?
Yeah.
Put that in my pocket. What the Lord is showing me, put that in my pocket, and then walking in with the situations that He's put me in to see how I'm going to be able to navigate those.
Absolutely. And so for Gabby, I think it's also intentional that you are the eldest sibling raising an eldest sibling. How has unmasking been for you as you are, transitioning into adulthood? How has that been for you as the older sibling?
I understand like when my mom says having your route and you like go on your route, and if you're not on your route then it's like your whole past just like thrown off, because that's how everyone at school is. Everyone has their plans on what they want to do and they get it done, and they're like very like push 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 and not any pull. It's just like all push. I need to get my plan done. I don't care about who it is that's going to be affected by the plan and everything. And I thought that that was like one of the big things that I wasn't really like in that, because I've had like mini pushes like when I was doing Black Student Union at school. I've had mini pushes, but there would be pullback, and like no one at school does pullback. Like they'll take negativity and they'll turn it either into something even more negative, or they'll try and turn it into a positive. Like they don't do pullback at all. So when my mom was talking about having this path, I thought when I was making my plan in 8th grade, my plan was for me to do marine biology. And then someone was like, yeah, marine biology is not a real job. So I had to change my entire plan, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I was like, okay, what can I do? What makes me happy? This, down the third. And history makes me happy. Learning about law makes me happy, stuff like that. So that made me choose my pathway into being a political science major. And what I want to do afterwards was just grad school and law school and, internships and stuff. And it's just going into the adulthood stuff, it felt like when it was sophomore year, I had to choose my life. And if I didn't know what my life was and I was falling behind and that I didn't know what I was going to do and I was going to end up at TCC and feel like I was a failure because I always put myself into a thing like if I didn't achieve certain goals and I was a failure. And I didn't want to be that way. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this club, if I don't do this many community service hours, if I don't try out for this position, if I don't do this club, if I don't do this at school, if I don't do that at school, then I would constantly feel like I was a failure. And I didn't want to feel that way. So I would constantly just do things in order for me to not feel that way. Even if I did feel that way, I would try and keep myself busy. So I would be like, okay, I'm not a failure because I'm doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you are going into adulthood, you're an adult.
Mhm.
What is your definition of success now?
Just being present in anything. Like I have an 8 a.m. and sometimes I don't miss it, but I do be late. But I'm like, as long as I'm there, I still get the credit. I still do the work. And even though he's not teaching, I still teach myself. So it's like, I may not be there at the time that the class starts, but he also be late. So, we all can't be perfect people. So, being present and stuff like little things like that, like even showing up to class late, even showing up when I don't want to eat dinner, going to dinner, even when I don't want to go to the gym, go to the gym, even when I don't want to run, go on a run, even if I don't want to do church, go to chapel, go to Wednesday night service, go to revival, stuff like that. Like always being present, even if it's not even for things like externally like that, but internally for you. Like there would be times that I didn't want to get out of bed. And it would be hard for me to get out of bed. Or there would be times where it was like, I can't get up to go pee because I would feel kind of sad for me to get up and use the bathroom. Like just being present, that's my definition of success right now.
I love that. I love that. And let me say, in college, for all y'all that's listening to me that went to college, you pay for that class, okay?
Hello.
So when you get there, you go. As long as
That's
you
right.
do every assignment and you don't fail those pop quizzes, midterms and finals, that's all that matters. In my master's program, they didn't even ask me when I was coming to class. So I'm paying for this class, okay? If I'm not there, don't ask me no questions either. You better not email me. Thank you. But that was my whatever. Okay. For you people that's mad, I work in higher education and I said what I said.
Yes.
That's what I said. Okay. But anyway, I also think it's pretty awesome that you are taking this path because in college, my major was political science.
I told her that.
And I switched to public relations, but still having the professional term of pre-law because poli-sci was just different. The poli-sci at Hampton probably is way better than the poli-sci that was at my university, but whatever. Yeah, and I was going to law school. I changed my path, but isn't that awesome?
Yes. We're all connected.
I told her that. I told her when she told me what her major was going to be, I was like, wow, you might just be living out the dream that your mother wanted, but then decided, oh, I can't afford. I have to go to Northwood. I need to go to a business school. I can't afford to go to a school.
Yeah, I got accepted at Clark, and then I chose to not go to Clark. And then I'm doing TT's major, and I'm going to go out with
Yeah, and then I told her about you, and I was like, but then she switched up, and she decided that she wanted to be more in the community doing things. And she's like, really? So it's like, this is like, it's destined to happen in this bloodline. And she just may be the one
Yes.
to give us an attorney in the family.
Right now, I'm going to get my PhD, so at least
Yes.
I'll get the doctor. You get the Juris Doctor, okay?
Yeah. I love that.
But that's awesome. I love that. That is so amazing. I think that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in adulthood is really understanding what success looks like. And I love that you encompass the definition of success as being present.
Yeah.
Whatever area you're working in, whatever thing that you're doing, you can't fail because you're present in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't also attach failure to something that you're 100% present for.
That's right.
And so, I love that you've began to connect those two things, and learning that sometimes success does not even have to make sense to every person around you. It's the definition and the decision that you've made about what that is to you, for yourself. And so I really, really love that. So, Gabby, what has surprised you about yourself in this new season of life?
That I'm very outspoken. I've joined a couple of organizations and I was on a government campaign team for the governor, Abigail Spanberger. And I realized I was way more outspoken about a lot of things because I've always been like very quiet unless like I'm very, very comfortable around you. Like right now, like this is probably the most I've talked since I've been here. And um and when I'm very passionate about something, like especially her views and the things that she stands for, I'm very outspoken. So when I was like calling people and doing phone banking and stuff and going door to door saying, you know, do you know where your voting site is? You know, stuff about that. And then even getting into political arguments about people about certain things that I don't really believe what they believe in, but I still did it in like a peaceful, respectful way.
Yeah.
And sometimes they didn't come to me like peaceful and respectful because, you know, certain things like that.
Yeah.
But I found out that I was very outspoken about things that I believe in. And yeah.
Well, I think you get that naturally, you know.
She does.
I used to think I was quiet too.
And she wasn't.
Oh,
Never. Never quiet.
I'm very much problematic. Very much so. And I love it. It's amazing now. Now, yeah, I think
Not problematic at all.
once you hit 30, I'm problematic, guys. I'm problematic. It's great. It's the greatest season
just
of my
wait. It gets greater later. Just wait.
I thought past 25 was great.
Mm-mm.
30, it's like a freedom. I feel like I got wings now. It's like I got Red Bull every day. I be ready. Amazing. It's an amazing
Yeah,
season.
you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait.
But I think I love that about college. College taught me, especially growing up, pretty sheltered and structured in certain type of ways. It taught me to embrace my own voice, my own thoughts, my own opinions, not based off of what anybody else told me, but based on the research that I gained, based on the stance that I wanted to take, based on my values and beliefs. And I'm a huge proponent of college or trade school or just further education.
Yeah.
Because you need to surround yourself in environments that are outside of ones that you grew up in. I think that is where you start that immersive learning. And so I think college gave me that in a huge way, in addition to like lifelong friends and like learning and a degree and internships. Like all of those opportunities are great. But to be able to leave college knowing what my voice sounds like, knowing why I am put on this earth and what I want to do with the rest of my life, that was worth all the experiences, all the ebbs and flows of college for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jennifer, as a leader, a mother, a wife, a friend, a sister, all of the things that you are, how do you balance strength with vulnerability without feeling like you're letting any person down?
I'm being honest. I mean, at the beginning of marriage and parenthood, I was trying to be superwoman, right? I wanted to get my master's degree. I was working full time. I had a toddler. I was pregnant with another one. I was married. My husband worked a lot. He would work, um, I don't know, something like 50 plus hours a week. And then on weekends, he would referee. So he would really not be home. It was just like young family, just trying to make things happen for ourselves. And I think I probably burned myself at both ends of the stick because I was trying to do everything for everybody. And I didn't make any time for myself. And my hair started to fall out, and I had to like wear wigs all the time, or I went completely bald because I was trying to find out what was happening. And it was all because of stress, you know? And you don't really recognize that when you're in it, you're just thinking, like, what's happening to me? You don't recognize that that's what's happening. You're literally overdoing it because you're like, oh, my baby has a doctor's appointment and this baby needs this and my husband needs that, and you're not focused on yourself, and then the home still has to be taken care of. So I've learned to just be honest. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the mental capacity. Sometimes you just have to just be honest with everyone around you so that they can give you grace, and then that they can then pick up where you are kind of falling short in. That's the only thing that's really kind of helped me to balance those things, because otherwise I'm not impactful in any other way if I'm just, falling short for everybody.
Okay. So, Jennifer, in all of your years of experiences so far, wisdom, all the things that you've accomplished, what do you think your superpower is?
Oh, I'm a good listener. I think a lot of times, I feel like if I just sit back and think about not only my personal life, but people who I work with in any capacity, any group, people act like I've known them for years and will tell me a lot, you know. Um, in my younger years, I used to be able to remember things, but as I get older, I don't remember. So I think they like to share with me because they have to remind me that they told me that deep dark thing. And I'm like, oh, you did tell me that. How's everything going with it? Because my thought is, when you share something with me, I'm praying for you for that thing, and then I'm taking that out of my mind, right? Because if I'm focused on what your thing is, then I start to allow that thing to take me in, and I can't do that, you know.
Absolutely.
You have to protect your own heart and your own mind. And if you're just taking on what other people are sharing, I've noticed that with Gabrielle too. Like her girlfriends, they call, and I just think that's just something that the Lord gave us.
Yeah.
People like to talk to us. They like to share. They like to have a sounding board with people that's not judging. I'm not judging you because I've been through my own thing, and I don't think I'm better than you for me to be like, oh well, ooh, you did that. Okay, I've done things too, you know? And to just sit up there and judge somebody on what their experience is, or what they're going through, or what they're doing, is just, it's unfair. So I think that that's something that would have to be my superpower. The fact that I'm a good listener and people want to tell me stuff. Like, they want to tell me. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm taking it in. I'm praying for you, sister. And then I'm throwing it out my mind because I don't want to hold on to anybody else's um heartbreak
Yeah.
or sadness.
Gabby, what is your superpower right now?
It's just like mom's, but mine's is giving advice. I have to take Ubers pretty often from airport to school, school to airport. And all my Uber drivers, they always tell me something very personal about their lives, whether it's like something to do with their family or ex relationships or dogs or anything. So I remember like the first Uber I took, he was talking about his dog's death, and he had dog hair like in the front of his car. And I was like, oh my gosh, really, really sorry for you. And he went on a whole rant the entire time. We were stuck in traffic for like 2 hours, and he kept talking about his dog. And I just wanted to get on the airport and go to sleep. But I felt it was so fascinating how he could just tell me something so personal about that, because I didn't really know him. Like, for Uber drivers, you only know them for like 45 minutes, and that's to and from where you're gonna go in their car, and that's the most intimate you get to them. But he like went on with the whole childhood story about all the dogs that he had, and people just tell me like things about their lives that I like I don't even know them. Like, even at school, there's this girl at the gym, and she was telling me how hard it was for her to lose weight and stuff like that, and how she's always had body problems and stuff. And I was like, well, I'll be your gym buddy, if you need someone to go to the gym with. And, just giving her advice on the things that I did, because, I struggled with losing weight and stuff like that too. So I was just, trying to not make it feel like it's about me, but trying to help them, because it feels like they needed to tell me in order for them to get advice about what it is that they need.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think your superpower is like you are very deeply compassionate. I
Mm.
was so I saved this picture.
Oh,
It is on the fridge.
And I always think about it because you've always had this just desire to connect and to care about people around you, even if it was like people that were older than you or people that were younger than you. You just have always been a very wise, very compassionate person. So I love that, how people just want to tell you all about their lives. So, not the dog though. It was the dog hair for me.
Dog hair all in the front seat.
Okay, so Jennifer, what do you wish younger women in our family understood sooner about timing or purpose or patience or life in itself?
That you can't fail if you don't start. If you are on a purpose plan to do something, and I would say this about our cousin Jerica. Jerica was working really hard in school, and she was in the nursing field for a long time, and I saw her work really hard as a single mom, and then when she got married, and then she had a set of twins, and she still was working hard. And then one day I saw a picture of her graduating with her, her RN degree, and I'm like, this is amazing. She'd been working for years hard on something quietly. A lot of times we speak about things that we want to do with our lives, and then because we did not hit that goal, we decide to stop and do whatever the easier thing is or the most convenient thing. And what I would want the women in our family to just remember, that if there's something that you started out on, if the end goal is not what you said it was supposed to be, that it's okay to pivot and still be able to move forward, because the Lord does not have you here for a very small, He's not putting you in a box. You're putting yourself in a box. You're ensuring that you're not successful in doing things that you want to do because you're afraid to move forward. And instead of being afraid, literally continue to keep pushing yourself. There's something today in church that pastor said. He was like, you have to define what your win is. Because if you're looking at other people and what their win is, then it's never going to be sustainable for you.
Yeah.
One of the main goals in life is always should be like, a happy family, right? And your family wanting to be around you, even when you don't have to be. The fact that Gab came home, and then when I told her how long I booked the flight for her trip for, she was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was like, "Oh, she want to be here," like, and I thought that was cool. Like, as you get older, you don't really want to really be with your family like that. You want to kind of just like do your own thing. But what I've learned from her is that she has a nice balance. She knows how to hang out with friends and she knows how to come home and still be a part of family. And that's very important. And I think that's some things can be lost sometimes with us
Yeah.
is that we get so tapped into what's happening on the outside, but you kind of forget where your foundation came from. Even if it is like things that are harmful or you perceive to be harmful from you in your past, us being able to like let those things go so that we can then have the types of relationships that we need to have to kind of, move forward in the future and stuff in family.
Yeah. I love that you talked about like knowing what your win is, defining your win. Because I
Mhm.
think oftentimes, and you also spoke about that when talking about Gabby and both sides. I
Mhm.
think we have to realize, and something that I have realized in my adulthood and navigating through different spaces is I had to stop defining my success or who I am in general by what other people thought about me or saw me as. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially after the whole Monica Conyers
Mhm.
thing that hit nationwide news and international
Mhm.
news, I think people had a view of what I would be. Everybody wants to plan out your life. Your parents
They
want to plan
do.
it out. People in church want
Mhm.
to plan it out. People who mentor you want to plan out because they see greatness in you. They just don't know
Mhm.
where that greatness is going to be.
Mhm.
Um, I have embraced, especially after starting Charity Movement. And then, of course, like I still work in corporate America. I
Mhm.
still do multiple things in the community. I'm still a wife. I'm still a mom. Now I'm a pastor's wife. I realized that I didn't have to pick
Yeah.
and or I could do both. And I love that even how you talked about Gabby. Like, she doesn't have to pick if she's gonna come home and be with her family because she also can be with friends and be present for both where she doesn't feel like she have to choose. And
Yes.
I think so many times we are kind of reared in this way that says I have to choose this one thing and
Mhm.
keep that one thing for the rest of my life. Just like for the generation before us, like a lot of them had factory jobs or
Yeah.
labor jobs, and they had to do that same skilled labor work for 40, 50 years in the same
Mhm.
company and then retire.
Yep.
That is not the typical way of living life
It's
now.
not. Mhm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that I'm still like learning to be very okay with, is that like I don't have to choose what part of Keiara I want to embrace because I'm just going to embrace all of them.
Yeah, like you're a person, you're multi-dimensional, right? You
Yeah.
should be able to wear as many hats as you want to. You should be okay with putting your kids to bed at night and have intimate time with your husband. Also, talking to your girlfriends on the phone, going out to dinner with them. Also, spending time with your parents and being a kid, and doing fun things with you should be able to do all of those things because you're not a robot. You're a person and you should be able to wear all the hats that you want to, but also you have to still have that balance. I think that's the most important thing. And that's something that I wanted for like I know that I didn't grow up with it, so I'm always kind of like pushing her for things, and I never ask her how she feels about me saying like, Gab, you should do this or you should do that, because like even like her senior year, she would. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do. You're gonna do everything senior year. Like I want you to experience it all because I don't want you to be looking back on it and being like, man, I wish I would have did X. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. Because it's not good for you. That's the last time in your life that you could be like literally carefree and have your parents take care of it for you.
Yeah.
In her instance, have your parents just you want to do this? Cool, you can do this. And actually be okay with doing those things. But I also didn't want her first experience for a lot of stuff to be in college away from home too, right?
Yeah.
Dating, heartbreak, talking to other guys, like all of the things I wanted her to be able to experience those things while she was still here so that she can share. And we've had moments where there were like good things that she would share, and we had moments where there were not so good things that she would share. And both of us would be kicking it like girlfriends. Like, what you did? Huh? So that she could see like your mom's a girl too. She's just your mom, but she used to be a girl that had feelings and stuff. just like you. So I understand where you come from. Not necessarily to be on your side, because when you're wrong, and you got to walk in that thing. You can't just because you're my kid, you're right all the time if you're doing something wrong. And we've had those conversations. Like, if he would say something like, Gabby did da da da, and I'd be like, why you do that? I'm not raising you to do that. Like, I want you to be just a solid individual and have that individuality, so that when things do come your way, that you will actually step into it and actually speak on it and not be quiet about it. And I'm proud of her for saying that she is outspoken now, because she's very shy around other people. That she's not shy with us. Yeah. She's a hoot. But with other people, she can be very shy, very reserved, very quiet, and people kind of assume that that's who she is. Y'all have no idea. This kid is like no joke. Like, she be out there just saying all the things, be having me crack up with all of the funny things that she says. The wake it up and clock it and all that. I'm like, what?
Okay, Gab, so what, and I love that you brought this up, because this is something I did want to mention as well. How important has it been for you, especially now in adulthood, to have a really impactful relationship with your mom?
I would say that it's been a really, really great thing, because I make it a point for me to talk to my family almost every day. But I know if no one else, like if my dad or my brother won't pick up, I know my mom will always pick up. Like, I'll tell her, like, it'll be something so simple like, oh, mom, I went to the gym and I went to class today. And I know that she'll always answer. I'll be like, oh, mom, I'm at dinner right now and I'm going to give you some cookies. And she'll be like, Gabby, you don't want them cookies because they make you sick. And she'll just like tell me all about everything. Like, she'll tell me about work. She'll tell me that I'm doing a good job. Like, I share my grades with my mom. I don't have to share my grades with my mom anymore, but I still do it because that's how she raised me to be. It's for me to be always accountable about things that, now she has no control over anything that I do in school. But I make it a point for me to, be presentable and be respectful, because that's how she raised me to be. And I think it's a great thing that I have such a close relationship to my mom, because there's many people at school who's like, oh, I'm cutting off my parents, or I don't talk to my mom anymore. I don't talk to these people anymore. Or they're just straight up rude to their mom or their parents or whoever's raising them. And I think that's so sad that I don't know their situation, so I can't say too much in order for me to be like, well, that's your mom, because you never know what's happening, what has happened to them. But I think it's a beautiful thing that my mom has made it such a point for her to be not only so involved in my life, but her to be not my life, like my life's not her life, but also separate, and she's just watching me. And I love that.
Well, that was good. I like that. Hey, girl.
Wake it up.
Like that, see?
I love that, because your mom did the same thing for me. I love it. I immediately think of situations. So the relationship that you have with your mom, I feel like I have that relationship with Jennifer. That's why I call her my sister mom. Things with our mom. We love our mom. She's our baby. We call
she is our baby. The mom's the baby.
Okay. Don't hurt baby. Don't put baby in a corner.
Don't put her over there.
We love mom, but the lessons that I got was mostly like lessons about life, lessons about guys, lessons about like even body, like, ooh, what is like a pH value? Like, what is all that stuff? It was Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
And so thinking about like life, I think about two instances of, well, I'll say three, of Jennifer like really being very much like, no, you will not be so sheltered that you don't have experiences in high school. You will not have regret when you graduate high school. You will figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was in high school and I got these free, I don't know, but after the Monica Conyers thing in Detroit, like I just started, like, doors just started opening that I could not even
It's true.
make sense of.
It was crazy.
And for some reason, this radio show called us with like really, really nice tickets to go to an Alicia Keys concert. And if anybody knows me, I loved Alicia Keys growing up. And because I sang, and at the time I played the piano. So I was like, oh my goodness, we got 2 free tickets. And the only person I could think of going with me is Jennifer. That was my best friend. What are you talking about? So I'm like, Jennifer, can we go? She's like, yes, we're absolutely going. No doubt about it. We're going. Of course, our parents are like, no, you can't go. And Jennifer was like, we're going to this concert. And it just so happened, when we left that concert on the way back, our dad called us and was like, she went to that concert and a tree branch fell on my car.
Was it a storm or something?
It wasn't even it was a storm, but it wasn't to like that. So the summer before this happened, they had told our whole neighborhood that that tree was already dead. They told us that the tree was dead, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that if there was another big storm, that tree would fall. So it was not an act of God.
Okay.
The tree was dead. It was a dead tree.
That's how dramatic our parents are.
It was so dramatic. He was like, that's the reason why. It was the tree. The tree fell on the house. And Jennifer was like, Keiara, go on in that house. Go on in that house. Have a good night. See, go to school tomorrow. Have a great day. And I was like, well, there you go. And then prom. Okay. Our parents was not really huge on us going to prom, but I graduated high school in like the top 10% of my class. I graduated with a 3.857. I graduated with a full ride academic scholarship.
Yep.
I graduated with some hard work. I worked every summer working to help for my family. Like, I had worked hard.
Yep.
And I really wanted to go to prom. And it was really a fight because when you grow up a certain type of way, there's a box. There's an invisible box that's like, no, you can't. Like, you can't. That doesn't make sense. Or nobody else does this, so you can't do it. And Jennifer was really a big advocate for, okay, well, I'm going to let you make the decision you want to make. And she never made me do anything. She was like, I'm going to let you make the decision you want to make. But if you don't go, or if you don't do this, are you going to regret it? And once she said that to me, I'm like, yeah, I would regret it. I would regret if I didn't go. And so when I went, like, it really made me feel like I really finished high school. Like, I really finished it. Like, I did. I finished it because I got to celebrate a night with all of my friends, like all of my friends in high school. And it just was, for me, it was a rite of passage. That's what it felt.
It really is.
It is. And, you know, for other cultures, they have certain things. In the Hispanic culture, you have a quinceañera. In, you know, Jewish culture, you have a bar mitzvah.
Yep.
But in the African American culture, we don't have a lot of rite of passages that celebrate us coming into adulthood.
Yep.
And for me, that was that. It feels
prom
like
is
one of them, right? Because that's where you get to say, I finished a huge area of my life. 12 years of school consecutively, I finished it, and now I'm an adult. And the fact that Jennifer advocated for me to do that is something that I always think back about, and I'm grateful for, because she fought for me in seasons where, like, I just really, it's hard to kind of try to get your parents to understand when they've never experienced it. Our parents,
that's what it was.
Going to like homecoming or going to prom and things like that. So they didn't see the importance of it, but for us, it was like,
yeah, I think that their thought process is all of the negative things about what prom could be, you know, drinking. Yeah, exactly.
Someone taking
Exactly. That, and I think that's what their thought process is. It's about all of the negative things, but it's exactly what you said. It's about hanging out with your friends for what could be the very last time that you hang out with them, but in something really pretty. You know, and taking pictures and dancing and laughing or singing the lyrics of whatever that popular song is for that school year or whatever the case, and just having a good time. It's not about all of the other things, because that's not what they're thinking about. Like, looking at her go to prom, and then on my TV, all of my pictures pop up in pictures from your senior year pop up, like when you got your first sew-in, or when you was wearing makeup and you had like eye shadow and stuff on, and that could have been like a concert or something. Those things pop up, and it always made me think like, yeah, she did that. I wish that was something that I could do for Shay and AJ too, but it was a hard, just a line in the sand. You're not going to tell me how to tell my kids what to do. You just have to control yourself. So that's what I did.
I think the other part was, it's kind of like what you talked about for Gabby, like internally. And I mean, we can go deeper about like things that happened in high school years, but like I remember I was dating a boy when I was 16, and I was so depressed. This is not a funny part about it, but our family has humor even when things are terrible situations.
We do.
Sorry about that in advance. But
that's the way we cope.
I was depressed because of like a relationship that was not good, and I started to stop eating. So I stopped eating for a while, to the point where Mom and Jennifer had to take me to the hospital. And they were like, "What is wrong with her?" And I told Jennifer, and she's like, she was like, "Well, how can I help you? Like, what's happening? Like, where, was there an environment surrounding you where you felt like you could tell us?" And I was like, "Well, it's not that I was like, couldn't tell you. It was more like, I don't know if you've ever felt like embarrassed that you found yourself in that type of situation." I'm like, I know, like, I know I'm the one and not the two. Like, I know that I'm not the problem. I just felt like, dang, how did I find myself here? And I didn't want to say it. But I think that the difference between like our siblings and you and I was that all I needed was a little push. Although I was very much internally like, I'm super analytical with like, okay, well, our parents are going to say this, and then I'm going to have to talk about this. Then it's going to be a thing, and then we're going to have to talk about this for like hours, and then I'm going to get in trouble, all this other stuff. But if Jennifer was like, if she was like rationalizing of what it meant to really go, like the reward versus like the hard conversation, and I'm in it, oh, I'm relentless until you accept the fact that I'm going. Yeah,
sure.
We just gonna have a problem, and it's just gonna be beef. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just gonna be beef, guys.
All I did was kind of start the conversation, but at that time, you had already made it up in your mind, and that's how you've always been, though. Even as a small toddler, if you wanted something, you wanted. That's why all my girlfriends knew that if a birthday was coming, that you was gonna be like, my birthday coming down, even if it ain't your birthday. It's somebody else's birthday, you like, oh, my birthday coming down. So whenever their birthday came around, they be like, tell Keiara her birthday coming down, because that's how she always did it. Like, if you put your mind to something and you said that you're gonna do it, you was relentless with making sure that you were able to get it done. That's why when you tell me stuff about the boys, I be like, okay. The apple don't fall too far, because their mother is the exact
I was hoping that the apple rolled down the hill.
No, baby.
Hey? I'd be like, y'all, come on.
No,
that's how I feel like Gabby. That's how I feel like Gabby is. Gabby is just a chocolate version of you. Like, very like brilliant minds, very focused, very reassured.
She really is. I will say that, like, her commitment to something, I really wish I was as consistent as she is. Like, how long have you been vegan or vegetarian?
Since I was 12.
So she's been vegetarian for 6 years. When she sees something that she wants to do, she does it. Even like down to, we've been talking about 75 soft, right? And just like trying to be consistent every single day. Like, she uses her workouts. I pay attention to her. Her workouts is just like it's like I brush my teeth. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to get up, you're supposed to brush your teeth, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to work out. So, and that's how she does her workouts. She just take them and add them into her schedule. It's not something that she hates to do. It's just like, oh, I'm about to go to the gym, or I'm about to go for a run. And like, was it yesterday? Yesterday I was getting ready to go somewhere, and I was like, I didn't shower, I didn't iron my clothes, I didn't did my makeup, I didn't did this, and the girl still ain't here. And as soon as I said those words, the door opened and she walked in. It was like 45 minutes. But it's just a part of her. And I wish that I had that type of consistency she's like the better part of me. Like the things that I really, really want, she's already doing it. So when she talks about like being sad or having those moments where she's just trying to navigate through things, I'm always trying to uplift her because it's like you have no idea who you are. Like just wait. You just have no idea what the Lord has literally placed on you because you're already doing like 75% of it. Wait until you tap into where the Holy Spirit really show you who you are. You're going to be unstoppable.
So how did that level of consistency, Gabby, how did you get that? Like, even, do you just tell yourself that it's non-negotiable? Did somebody help teach you? Like, how did that start?
Well, COVID, I was bored and I didn't want to eat, and I was like 200 pounds at this time, and I was in middle school, and I was like, well, I don't want to keep getting bigger. You know that one, it's like this tweet, but it's like a picture of a tweet, and it's like, everybody's getting huge. And I was like, well, I need to find some other hobby other than watching anime and reading manga. So I was like, I'm gonna just start working out. And then it just became like solely a hobby that I started liking. And I was like, I can get used to this. So it's just something that I do to pass time.
I love that. This 75 South is going to teach me to love to pass time.
Yeah, me too.
As well. Because right now, the only thing that's passing through is pain through my legs. So anybody can give me some recovery tips. Love that. Gabby, you can probably send me some recovery
You
tips.
could.
You sent me that, this thing that you put on your sore muscles. I've been using that on my rest days.
Where you get that from?
You gave it to me.
Oh.
Wait, so you already got the key and you ain't using it?
Door is still locked.
She said the door is still locked.
No, I was really about to write it. What you say you got? That's crazy.
Something you gave her.
The gag is.
Oh, you want to get it? And show it to her?
Yeah.
Girl, I basically already had the answer.
Basically already got the answer.
Literally had the answer, girl. That's hilarious.
Oh, look at this.
So everyone can see it. It's the muscle ache bar.
Do you remember where you got this? It's probably like a farmer's market or something that you went to. The muscle ache lotion bar.
Made
Oh,
in County, Michigan.
Michigan, made by MI Country Mama.
Oh, it is. It was a farmer's market.
Mm. See, you already got the keys, boo.
There you go. It's amazing. The more you know. Okay, so Gabby, is there anything, as you are an adult navigating your first year of college away from home, are there any lessons, is there any advice that you would have wanted to receive from us before you got there, or that you want to receive from us going forward?
I feel like this was a lesson that I learned during new student orientation week, and it was just because you see too many people in the race doesn't mean that you shouldn't run it. Because you see like all the people like who go there. The school acceptance rate is less than 40%. So it's, it's already hard for you to get into the school, and then on top of that, it's a private university. So, they have endless opportunities for you to do anything, but everyone is going after the same opportunities as you. So what I tell my friends who are graduating in the spring is that they shouldn't stop being in the race, or they should sign up for the race, because like you never know what the outcome is. My field that I want to pursue in, being a lawyer and all that stuff, it's very male dominated. Not only that, but it's very male dominated. So I'm already at a disadvantage, and then very little representation of people that look like me in the field that I want to be in, but very huge powerhouses that are always in the media, which is a very good thing because they're not in the media. They're not in the media for bad things. They're in the media for good things. I feel like that was really good for me to like see and for me to keep going and pushing and not give up. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So, Jennifer, what are you looking forward to in terms of motherhood, sisterhood, womanhood for this year?
Learning more. I feel like you teach me a lot when we have our conversations about stuff. I feel like I learn a lot from Gabrielle. Like I didn't know that. So I've been on this journal kick for a while, but I didn't know that I already had my own journal ecosystem. Like I already had a journal that I use for devotional, a journal that I use for sermons, a journal that I use for just like everyday life stuff. And I didn't know that I already had those things. But the beauty of um listening to other people and getting feedback and learning more from them has been something that has been really helpful for me within like the last 6 months of last year, and I just want to continue to do that. I feel like absorbing information because I'm always going to be someone who wants to learn. I'm just a student of life, right? So just my goal this year is to try to absorb as much as I can and then implement those things into my life. And then my ultimate goal is to be consistent with those things that I've learned. That is like something that I'm really focusing on for this year, like starting somewhere. And even if I do fail or fall off or whatever, that I don't make that 1 day failure become a whole 365-day failure. You know, hey, I made a mistake, but that's okay. I can still get back up and continue to do on. And that's something I have to think about in my personal life. I know in my professional life. And, when it comes to me taking care of business for my family, outside of home, all of those things, I know how to pivot and it's not a thing. Like I'll just do it. But just for me, the self-care of myself, being able to say, you know what, you did this, right? How can you prevent yourself from doing this? Or you will do this again, but that doesn't mean that you need to stop doing what you're planning to do for yourself because it's for me, right? Just to be healthy. That's my ultimate goal is to just be healthy and be consistent in that journey. And whatever that is, not just a physical thing, but in my mind, as you get older, you don't recognize how much of your mind that you're not using anymore. So that's why I picked up hobbies and, doing things with my hands and just trying to do things so that I can kind of feel myself be like soaking up as much as I can so that I can continue to learn so that I don't become one of those people that's just like grumpy because you don't want to learn. The one thing I just kind of like despise when I look at the elders who just don't want to learn is like, I mean, it's always something to learn, literally.
Yeah.
So you can't just be like, oh, she don't know, she ain't never experienced. You don't know what she's experienced. Maybe she has experienced a whole bunch. She just has a young face, you know? So yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. Gabby, what are you excited about for 2026?
Being unreasonably educated because I love learning and I want to be in school for as long as possible so I can keep being educated.
For free. We want to be in school
For free.
Yeah.
for free. There you go.
Love that.
Just wanted to add that.
Love that. In Jesus' name. What do you look forward to for 2026? Yes, get the mic on.
I am looking forward to, well, I guess, so I usually put my goals in different categories. So educationally, I am looking forward to going back to school to start my track for my PhD program.
Yes.
So I am excited to get through like a year of learning. I'm a lifetime learner. I love to gain knowledge in different areas and wanting to impact communities around me. And so I can only do that in the way that I want to by going back to school and getting another degree. So I'm excited to do that. I am excited to not work in balance, but work in priority. I don't think that there's such thing at this point of balance for me. I think it's a priority. What is my priority for today? Who is my priority today? And then moving accordingly. Overall wellness is a huge part for me. So I'm glad that we're starting off this year with 75 South. 75 soft, because if I am not well, none of the things that are attached to me will be well.
That's true.
So I want to make sure that I am here present. And then a big thing for me this year is I want to be present. Like, I don't want work, and I don't want to use this word bad, but I don't want my purpose to be divisive. Like, I don't want it to become something that's like, I'm all purpose, no connection to like my family, like doing what's necessary to make sure that I am present and I can see my sister and I can see my niece and I can see my family, because that's most important to me. Like, I just want to, at this point, it doesn't really matter what time I sacrifice. Like, I just want to be more present, because I think based on last year, if anything I've learned is like, I don't want to have regrets about like what I didn't say or what I didn't do or experiences that we didn't have. I want to have all the things. So that means that I need to be present to have all the things. So that's like really like a huge part for me this year, is making sure that I'm in a position to where I can be as flexible as I need to be, so that I can be connected to my family, connected to my niece, connected to my nephews with an S, but all the things.
I love that. I just wanted to tell you, because I know you're going to close out in a minute, but I just wanted to tell you that I admire your consistency with the podcast, but also all the other hats that you wear. Like, everything you do in your community, everything that you do at the university, still being a present mom, wife, pastor's wife, sister, and then just aunt. Thank you, baby. And just an all-around woman, right? Like, still having the femininity that you carry. Like, because you carry so many different hats, you could go outside looking crazy, but you always look together, baby. Okay? Like, when she's going from one hairstyle to the next hairstyle, baby, hair always laid, face always look tea, okay? Always dressed bomb. Mama always got it going on, okay? And I just want to let you know that I admire that, because you having young babies running around, and those boys are boisterous. They like to get it going, but you still pull yourself together and still look like a bomb mom, okay? A bomb mom. And I love that about you. So I wanted to tell you that, because it's not just brains, there's a beauty over there too. And she say, okay? So I just wanted to tell you that.
That's on period. I wish I would have got that picture too. Hold on. I'm pulling
What picture?
Hold on. Oh,
There
you go.
Yes! Yes. See?
My mama know what she be talking.
I do know. I be knowing.
Oh, this is just the best. Look at her.
Good memories. Look it.
Oh my goodness. Gabby, do you want to have any last words? Tell them all the amazing things about you.
I think you guys know enough, study law, I go to school, I get money, my hair's done. Very dedicated, very educated. Changing the world one state at a time.
State at a time?
State at a time.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Changing the world one state at a time.
That's a big feat.
Okay. Listen, I love that. I'm with it.
Me too.
I'll change whatever state you don't.
Okay.
Can't do all of them. I can do.
I know, right?
Some of the other ones. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited that we have had time to do this episode. I'm so excited that Gabby is home so that we could do this episode.
Me too.
I love you both. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. To my audience, I hope that you gained something from it. I hope that you have been thinking of having conversations with your family as you start off 2026. It's very important that as we want to elevate, we want to do more. It's always important that we have those dialogues about what are our goals? How can we do better so that we can learn from generation to generation? Please remember
Yeah.
to like this video, share it with someone that you know, subscribe to our Charity Movement YouTube channel, and remember, the only one stopping you is you. See you soon.
Bye.